Hey there guys, it's Clement again from the Graphic Technologies, and this is the 10th video of my HTML and CSS course. Yes sir, the big 1-0, my 10th video on YouTube. Alright, if you guys have been with me throughout all these tutorials, well, I really congratulate you and thank you for being on my channel. And in this video we're going to talk about HTML inline styles. It's sort of CSS, but it's not really the preferred style for CSS. But I'm just using this as a prelude to my actual CSS section of this course, just so you can have a brief introduction. And basically, HTML styles, or they call them inline CSS, is basically applying CSS or styling to different tags in our markup. It's not the best way of doing styles on your web page, but it's just like uh, most times it's used for debugging basis and just for quick styling. But on a real website, I strongly encourage you to use a separate CSS file on your web page. Well, with that, let me just show you guys this to just as a brief introduction to CSS. And before that, let me just clear this up a bit. Clear the section tags. Let me just have only H1 tag and my P tag. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, clear the footer. Wow, we've got a lot of junk on this page. Okay, so now we have just a H1 tag, a P tag, and a span tag within another P tag. Well, let me reload this page first. Save and reload. Let's say I want to turn my H1 text to a blue color. Let's say I don't like black. I want a blue. Now, how do I do that with my HTML inline style? Well, it's simple. Every HTML element takes in a default an attribute called style. Like, they all have access to this attribute. I already introduced attributes to you. You can see one here, char set. So if you don't understand what attributes are, I encourage you to go to my previous videos on this. But HTML attributes, HTML style attributes takes in the style for the particular element. So if I type style equals, have it in quotes, whether double or single quotes, doesn't really matter, and I can say background, or I want to change the color to blue, so I say color equals a colon blue. Simple as that. If I save the page and I reload, you see the future of our economy is blue, or maybe just for jokes, make it green. The future of our economy is green. Okay, so yeah, you can add a couple more styles to this. We can say our font size, and note the styles are separated by a semicolon, and I can say our font size is, and the units, there are several units of font size. I'll get into this in my CSS course, but for now, the most common of these units are called the pixels. I can call this 50 pixels, yeah. And if I reload the page, you see it's really huge, 50 pixels. The future of economy, and I gave it this font size of 50 pixel, and as you can see, it's not centered on the page. If I want it centered on the page, I can just do I separate it by a semicolon again and do a text align of center and end the semicolon. Then if I save this, you can see that the future of our economy, the H1 element, is centered on the page. You can do a lot of these styles. I can also apply styles to my P tag. Style, I give it a color of green, or no, I use green too much, pink, because I'm a girl inside. Pink, and let me say font size of 20 pixels. Doesn't really matter. You can give it whatever you want to give it. You can see it's pink. I love acorns. I think they're really good fruit in pink. And I can also change the background color of this and make it more visible. And I say inside my p tag, I say background of let me say, what makes pink more visible? Wow, I never thought I'll ask myself this question. Okay, what makes pink more visible? Let me see. Red, maybe. I save this. Yes, red made it more visible. So you can see it has a background of red, and this red covers the entire page. So I think I'm gonna stop here for now, so as not to give you guys an overload. But this is just one of the most common styles. There are a lot more styles which we will see. We will even talk about CSS animations, and you can do so many cool things with some styles and CSS basically. But these HTML styles are greatly limited, and they kind of make our code a little messy, if you ask me. Okay, just before I end this video, I want to show you guys a different color coding style that you most likely see in HTML and styles. Let me adjust the span tag inside the P element. And I said something about putting the span inside the P in my previous video. The whole point of this most times is to say, let's say we want to style the guy, like maybe give the guy the font size of 50 pixels. I can say style font size 50 pixels. If I save this and I run it, you see guy is really great, like it's a great guy. Yeah, so I've increased the style of the span tag, and you can see our code is getting really messy already. That's why I really encourage that the CSS be done in a different file. But let me just give it one more style to end the video, and this style I'm going to give it a color style, and I'm going to show you guys different coloring styles. The RGB style. This RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and this basically signifies the degree of red, green, and blue in your in the color scale. And this takes in 3 options or arguments, and they're called they both have a minimum value. They all have a minimum value of 0 and a maximum value of 255, I think. So if I call this 255 0 0 and I save the page and I reload it, you see that it's completely red because 255 is the maximum value. Let me make this a bit more visible, because 255 is the maximum value of our each color scale. So it's maximum red, no green, no blue. If I remove this, make this 0 and make the green 255, and I can reload this and open my page. See, it's completely green. And if I want to like mix this up and make it what's green and blue together, I forget my color mathematics. If I reload this, see, it's a light blue for some reason. I don't know, I think it's greenish blue. And if I make everything 255, you see I'll probably get white, and I don't see anything because it's actually there, but it's white. You can see if I highlight it, it shows up because it's there. It's just hiding, it's white. And if I make this 0 0 0, I think you can guess what this will be. Make it 0 0 0 and I save the page. It's gonna be black. Yeah, so 0 0 0 gives black, 255 gives white. I'll be using this a lot, and hope you guys understand. And you can also do values in between, maybe 20, 29, 50, not 555, 55, maybe 100. It can be anything in between 0 and 255. And if I save this and I reload the page, I get a really dark blue. It's a really cool color. You can get a whole lot of colors with this color coded. There's one more argument you can add, although this is not really used much for color, most likely for background color. You can call this A. A means alpha, and alpha is ranged from 0 to 1, and it shows the degree of opacity that the text should have, or the color should have. So if I call this opacity of 0, you probably won't see shit. So if I reload the page, it's blank. But if I give it an opacity of 0.5, you see it's just you may not be able to tell too much. The color may change, but it's not really. It's almost fading out. You can see. So it's half opacity. I hope I've not really confused you too much by this, but just so you know, this is just a little prelude to our actual CSS course, so you can understand and grasp the whole technicalities of styling an element. So you can see we have pretty good styles here. There are many more styles, and as you can see, if you've noticed, the formula for adding a style is the element property colon the value of that element property. The font size is the element property, and what's the value of the font size is this part. So is property colon value semicolon. That's the basic formula for CSS, and we'll go into this in more detail, I know, but for now, just so you have an idea of CSS in general, I'll just be dropping this. But later in our maybe our 12th video will enter CSS, but in the 11th video, which is the next video, I'm going to be showing you about the HTML source code, hopefully, and we'll just see how it goes then. And yeah, I think I can bring this video to an end right now. I hope you guys have really understood, and I hope I was able to communicate what I really wanted to communicate in this video. And yeah, so if you guys loved this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really means the world to me. So yeah, so till then, we'll see. Goodbye.